Able and Eagle veterans heal. They will be coming in, okay? They will be standing up at the podium, and they will be, let's just call today Veterans Day. Let's pretend that today is Veterans Day. So, today is Veterans Day. They will be coming here, and they will be sharing their stories. And while they're doing that, I just want you to really feel the energies around you and slow down and really listen and really invest and enrich yourself in what they're saying. Okay, so they're going to be coming here. What time is it right now? 3:48. So they should be here at 4:05. Okay. So we're going to be starting the reading of that. I do know that there was just a couple of things. Maybe because you're new, I know that she is here and she's getting things set up right now. Maybe you can go and get to know her and introduce yourself and have some of that time, that bonding time. So while we'll be doing this, I think that would be nice. Okay. So anyway, everybody. Trying to see here if there was any. Okay, 40%. So, everybody, you notice that there are stories that I have printed off. I made those, on Monday, and they've been staying there because I haven't got to that yet. I just need to find where. Oh, is this even the right one? No, I didn't think that's the right one. Okay, I'm going to be right back, everybody, because I do not have the right book. I don't have the right, anthology. Leave it right. So it's going to be a little bit long, so we're not going to read all of it today. I'm going to get as far as we can with it. Because it's kind of long, and it has to do with, it's in the wintertime. Think of Lester Woman, and think of, just the wintertime. Think of a hotel way back in the 1800s that was, talks about the shade of the hotel, and, the big overlying, root and, side subject, tying in subject of the whole thing is playing chess or playing, checkers. No, playing cards. So if you're thinking about this hotel, you're thinking about a bar or a restaurant, and then there was, these, people, they're all distinctly unique, and then, it has to do with the, owners of the hotel, and then there was a, fight, and, kind of the, brawl, especially if you think about people getting drunk. So that's kind of, the setup of the whole thing. I'm not spoiling it, but that's just kind of, the gist of things. Okay, I have never read this, but I have seen the movie for it already. So I kind of know. And, I think this is a good idea, especially if you're thinking about classics. I think that the movie is a good thing to see first, so that you know the basic plot of what is happening. Especially for classics. Then, when you get into it, now that you've seen the movie, you can now focus and dive deeper into the story by reading it. That's how you look at it, because for some reason, in this day and age, the movie just sticks out. So if you do that first, then you have that, and then that will make you now want to read the book even more, now that you know what happened. So I think that's a good strategy. So for Fahrenheit, I might do that. I might see the movie, and then we might get into the audiobook. Good idea is that. Okay? And no, I have not read Artemis Fowl before. But I know that there's a movie of that coming. It should have come out. But since the whole thing happened, I don't know. The world is really in a tough spot right now. So this is trying to get out of ruts, people. That's why we had to bring and buy sale, to change, because life goes on. So, the Blue Hotel. Trying to think about what I need, trying to find what I need, if I can find what I need. Okay, there it is. So, 338. I know that my book is a little bit differently because it has all kinds of stories in it. So 338. Well, I'm that kind of person. And I don't think that there's any, big deal in that. So 3. Okay. So everybody, I want you to find the story, and we have something to go along with that as well. So make sure that when I provide breaks to filling that out, I don't feel like I need to explain it, because I make it very, very, very clear, and that's just less breath that I am extending, and less energy. And I know another person from the Lynn Custom whose last name is Peterson, and she is a computer teacher. The Blue Hotel. So, is everybody finding it? Okay. Well, that's wonderful. Okay. So, hopefully I'm not getting sound numb. No. Yes, this is such a, but all of the Lebimbis except for Julia Esquinrol were born in the 1970s.
The Palace Hotel.
Well, except I was born in 2004, but anyway. So here we go, everybody. Okay. Please give me the memory. I know that you will.
At Fort Romper was painted a light blue. a color of blue found on the legs of a certain bird that makes it bright in any surroundings. The Palace Hotel then looked always loud and screaming in a way that made the bright winter scenes of Nebraska seem only a dull gray.
Okay, this
It
has
stood
changed.
alone, and when the snow was falling, the town 200 yards away could not be seen. When a traveler came from the railroad station, he was obliged to pass the Palace Hotel before he came to the group of low houses, which was Fort Romper. It was believed that no traveler could pass the Palace Hotel without looking at it. Pat Scully, the hotel owner, had proved himself a master at choosing paints. It is true that on clear days, when the long lines of trains swept through Fort Romper, passengers were surprised at the sight. Those that knew the brown reds and the dark greens of the eastern part of the country laughingly expressed shame, pity, shock. But to the citizens of this western town and to the people who stopped there, Pat Scully had performed a wonder. As if the displayed delights of such a blue hotel were not sufficiently inviting, Scully went every morning and evening to meet the train that stopped at Romper. He would express greetings.
Oh. This is the hotel where everybody went. The train stopped, and it's just, so deliberate, so deliberate. It's a little bit too deliberate. It's not, natural. It's just, that's not going to work for me.
Section 6 of Selected Short Stories by Stephen Crane. The Slipperbox recording is in the public domain.
Quality.
The Blue Hotel. 1. The Palace Hotel at Fort Romper.
Okay, well, they do have slides in the video, but that will work. Let's see.
Romper was painted a light.
Okay, that's going to be better. That's going to work better for us than the other thing that I did not like that much, because it was so just, I didn't care for the quality of it. I just want to do a page count, and then we're probably going to get started with the story. Oh, for the love of Pete. And also, another thing that was pretty obvious is the words were, simplified and, they would change. So it wasn't that good of a recording. So let's, I'm going to do a page count on this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, that'll be another good place to stop, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20 pages, 10 plus 10 is 20. So if we can get to, we will just probably start it, and this will be divided up into, 3 days or so. So, yeah, so, today we're just gonna start it, and then tomorrow we're gonna just get right into the rest of it. Okay. So here we go, everybody.
Section 6 of Selected Short Stories by Stephen Crane. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Blue Hotel. 1. The Palace Hotel at Fort Romper was painted a light blue, a shade that is on the legs of a kind of heron, causing the bird to declare its position against any background. The Palace Hotel, then, was always screaming and howling in a way that made the Nebraska seem only a gray, swampish hush. It stood alone on the prairie, and when the snow was falling, the town 200 yards away was not visible. But when the traveler alighted at the railway station, he was obliged to pass the Palace Hotel before he could come upon the company of low-clapboard houses which composed Fort Romper, and it was not to be thought that any traveler could pass the Palace Hotel without looking at it. Pat Scully, the proprietor, had proved himself a master of strategy when he chose his paints. It is true that on clear days, when the great transcontinental expresses, long lines of swaying Pullmans, swept through Fort Romper, passengers were overcome at the sight, and the cult that knows the brown reds and the subdivisions of the dark greens of the East expressed shame, pity, horror, and a laugh. But to the citizens of this prairie town, and to the people who would naturally stop there, Pat Scully had performed a feat. With this opulence and splendor.
Okay, I'm gonna stop because standing here is difficult, so it helps to sit when I do this. Because it helps to do this so that, and okay, then we have this thing in the way. That's gonna work out wonderful. Oh my gosh, okay. I'm just getting readjusted here, and then we'll continue. Because it's tiring to stand there. Okay, so we still have a couple more minutes until she said 4:10 or 4:15. So here we go, everybody.
These creeds, classes, egotisms that streamed through Romper on the rails day after day, they had no color in common. As if the displayed delights of such a blue hotel were not sufficiently enticing, it was Scully's habit to go every morning and evening to meet the leisurely trains that stopped at Romper, and work his seductions upon any man he might see wavering, gripsack in hand. One morning, when a snow-crusted engine dragged its long string of freight cars and its one-passenger coach to the station, Scully performed the marvel of catching 3 men. One was a shaky and quick-eyed Swede, with a great shining cheap valise. One was a tall, bronzed cowboy, who was on his way to a ranch near the Dakota line. One was a little silent man from the East, who didn't look it and didn't announce it. Scully practically made them prisoners. He was so nimble and merry and kindly that each probably felt it would be the height of brutality to try to escape. They trudged off over the creaking board sidewalks in the wake of the eager little Irishman. He wore a heavy fur cap squeezed tightly down on his head. It caused his 2 red ears to stick out stiffly, as if they were made of tin. At last, Scully, elaborately, with boisterous hospitality, conducted them through the portals of the Blue Hotel. The room which they entered was small. It seemed to be merely a proper temple for an enormous stove, which, in the center, was humming with godlike violence. At various points on its surface, the iron had become luminous and glowed yellow from the heat. Beside the stove, Scully's son Johnny was playing high-five with an old farmer who had whiskers both gray and sandy. They were quarreling. Frequently, the old farmer turned his face toward a box of sawdust, colored brown from tobacco juice, that was behind the stove, and spat with an air of great impatience and irritation. With a loud flourish of words, Scully destroyed the game of cards, and bustled his son upstairs with part of the baggage of the new guests. He himself conducted them to 3 basins of the coldest water in the world. The cowboy and the Easterner burnished themselves fiery red with this water until it seemed to be some kind of a metal polish. The Swede, however, merely dipped his fingers gingerly and with trepidation. It was notable that throughout this series of small ceremonies, the 3 cowboys, Scully,
okay.
was carried in
I gave it a chance, but it's not weeding with the thing itself. It's annoying. Okay. This is so frustrating. Why doesn't it just weed the story how it should be? It's ridiculous. I don't know what we're gonna do. So I have to see who's reading this. Okay. No.
Station, he was obliged to pass the Palace Hotel.
Okay, so Blue Hotel Part 1, we're probably gonna start that. Okay. What time is it? 4:08. Okay, well we can get through a little bit of it. I thought that, it would go, well, but then it started going really off, and I didn't want that. So, let's see. We can probably start that. I'm gonna stop here just to see how much juice that I have with memory, and then I'm gonna continue.